Hello everybody, my name is Robert Barton. I'm the creator of iShareNotes.org. So iShareNotes is a platform for creating and sharing notebooks. As an example of the finished product, I've got 3 examples here to briefly show you. This is a notebook in the style of a manual, an instruction manual. It's actually the instructions for how to use this application. That's one style. We also have something which is more album oriented. Trip notes, for example, would be an absolute classic. This is particularly easy to do. And one last example to show the variety is family trees. Here we can click around and see the various branches of a family tree. So with that, I think the best thing for us to do is to dive in and for me to show you what it's like to create a short notebook. So once I've signed in, I see all the notebooks that I've got access to. We're not going to dwell on these too much at the moment because we're going to create a virgin new notebook like so. So now I'm in the notebook editor, and just as an example, we'll put together some type of title, variety notebook, and this is my first page. And I'm going to first start bring in, for example, departmental notes from a financial department. I've got several examples here of flowcharts. So this is on the local hard disk, but it could be copied in from the clipboard or whatever you want. I'll just expand that out. So, So now we've got our materials on the page. I'm going to make it a bit smaller because it's taking up a lot of space. I'm going to add some text here. Let's just copy the random text, put that in there, change the format to being formal, and set those properties. It's looking a bit more respectable now, and I might want to annotate these instructions. So let's just say I'm going to add a comment up here. Remember Tuesdays, staff thin on ground, and I'll add in text to that one, yeah, and get that one, great, and perhaps add in one last comment over here. But the idea is that we can annotate. So let's just say that's our first page. We'll give it a title. I'll deal with that in a second. Title, formal title. Additional shipping notes. There we go. And set that to be at the back. And just move these things down because otherwise it's all overlapping. So that's our first page. That's looking fine. And we'll say, let's create another page. And to do that, I just add in another page. And this time we'll do something with a slightly different flavor. Let's do a more photographic one. Now I'm on Google now of Iceland. This is a good one. So instead of bringing things in from my hard disk, I'm just copying that image address, and I'm just going to import that in like that. That was just with copy and paste. So there, let's just bring it in like that, and I can move it slightly to the left, position it. Okay, and I'll add a text in up here. Like this. And we'll change that this time to being friendly. And So with that, we see you can have a more photography-oriented page. And we'll add one last page on the page, and we'll bring in another one of these images. This one here from Iceland. Copy image address, paste that in here, and here we see we've got the image. So we have the normal types of manipulation. So for example, I can move a picture within the frame, I can crop or I can expand, I can scale it, and I can rotate it. In this particular instance, let's just say I actually want to cookie cutter this guy out of the picture. So for this, I'm going to draw a closed object around him, and then I use the cookie cutter camera here to snap what lies underneath, and then I've got this guy there, and I can manipulate that image now as I see fit. Let's just give him a different contour. Okay, and I could write something. Let's just say here, more random text like that. Make that friendly header, and yeah, something like, you need a big rucksack in Iceland, speaking from experience. And so Iceland adventures. Now with that, let's say we've got our 3 pages. If you need an overview at any stage, we can look in here. For example, we can move them around. So we can alter the sequence of the pages. But I'm just going to save this. And now our 3 pages are online. So here are our 3 pages. And I can share a link to this, which I can send to other people. But that does bring me to an important note, which is, okay, who can see this notebook? So for that, I'm just going to dive back into the notebook and show you how security settings are made. Now, access settings is done on a per notebook basis, where you apply a predefined access profile to the notebook. Here you can see me doing it here. All I have to do is select the profile, hit save, and then that profile is active. The mechanism for setting up these access profiles is very powerful. It's something I'm proud of. And it's set up in 3 layers. For any particular profile, you can say, okay, who has admin access to this notebook, who can edit content, and if there's anybody beyond that, are there additional people who can read? And that can easily be set up here and applied. It's really a very powerful mechanism. Now that brings me to a whole new topic, which is behind this arrow here on the right-hand side. So here, beyond having the pages, we've got collections. Now, collections are like libraries of standard symbols. Bring in that one particular collection, and then we can see that I can bring those symbols in straight from the collection. And the interesting thing is, I can add my own collection easily. So for example, here I say create a brand new collection. Let's just call that my clipboard. And notice that I set, in a similar way to the notebook itself, who has access to this library. For the time being, I'm saying it's just me. And anything or any combination of objects within my page, I can say, I want that to be in my collection. So now I've done it with this particular guy. And I could also say, I think this header needs to appear in several pages. I'm going to put that in my clipboard as well. And I could have this airplane in there as well. So now imagine later we're editing perhaps a different notebook. I add a new page. I say, I'll have the header, please. There's the header comes on. So the header's in. And I can have the guy. and I can have the aeroplane. And that way it's very easy to reuse symbols. And what's good is I can share this library with colleagues. So for example, I go through all the work of preparing standard components, and then I can share it with a certain set of colleagues. So in a nutshell, there's iShareNotes. Here's the notebook we've just created. Easy to create notebooks and good security settings for deciding who you'd like to share your notebooks with. I hope you found this video instructive, and I'll look forward to hearing from you.